Welcome to Sa Ra Seminars, and today we are going to be discussing feminism and equal rights and whether or not those things are the things that they say they are. So let's get into it. Now, back in the early 1900s, a bunch of women came together and they said, we want to vote. We want to do the same things that men do because we are equal to men. And you know what the men said? Okay, cool. You can do that. Don't worry about it. Let's get going. And so the women of the feminist movement went into the workplace. They got their vote and they said that they can be equal to men. Now, what they didn't tell you is one of the reasons why the women weren't voting is because if you had the right to vote, then you had the right to be drafted into the army. Now, do women want to be drafted into the army? I don't know. You guys will have to let me know that one. Answers on a postcard, please. Right. So the women wanted to get drafted, or maybe not, or they wanted to just get equal rights to men. So they got their equal rights. Look, she was unhappy, but now she is happy now, okay? She's got the right to vote. Now, what is the next step of feminism? Feminism goes on through the years, and what it says is, you know what? As women, we are equal to men, which means we can actually do the same things that men can do. And the men are like, oh, really? Oh, really? You can do the same things that we can do? And they say, yes. And then the guys say, okay, cool, no problem. And then what happens during this time is women start to make songs that say that they are what? Independent. This one here is independent. They're independent. They don't need men anymore. They said they wanted equal rights, but did they? Do women of this feminism movement, do they campaign to be the majority or even 50-50 of the women that are on the oil rigs? Do they campaign to be the 50% of men that are laying bricks? No, but they want to be the 50% of women in the workplace as the CEOs. You see, feminism isn't about equality. What feminism is about taking the good things that men benefited from and then saying they want exactly the same thing. Now, with women being equal, what they've done is that, as you can see, they burnt their bras at some point, okay? Their bras were burning. They burnt their bras so much, and they said, listen, we don't even need bras anymore. Do women actually want equality? Or do they want the best things that men benefit from in the society that we currently live in? I would say that they want the best things. They don't really want to be equal, because what women are doing right now is that they're saying they no longer need men with their independence. And so with their independence, what they've done is said, we need these things. I think it goes like this, and then like this, and then like that. They need silicone devices that will give them the best orgasms that they've ever had. So they no longer need men to take out the trash. They no longer need men to kill the spiders. They no longer need men. What they need are these things. These silicone devices that vibrate. Now, if you are a smart man would invest in these types of silicone devices, because the stocks in silicone devices are going to go up, because more and more women are saying that they don't need men, and more women are investing in these silicone devices. So these silicone devices could be a money spinner, guys. Don't say I never tried to help you. Anyway, so back to feminism. So women now no longer need men, and they are independent. What's the next move? Because we know the mind of a woman never really rests. The mind of a woman is always looking for something else to be crazy about.
I don't want peace. I want problems, always.
So what did the feminists look for next? The feminists. The feminists told men that their masculinity is no longer good. It is now toxic. Toxic. That is what the masculinity of men is now. It is toxic, okay? It is no longer looked upon as something that is good and helps society. Now, let's not forget that quote-unquote toxic masculinity built all of the buildings that these women are housed in. Don't forget that quote-unquote toxic masculinity built all the cars and the planes and the trains to get them going from A to B. Let's not forget that. But now, masculinity is what? It's toxic, okay? And so, I remember living through the generation where the women told men to be more in touch with their feminine side. And so, men said, okay, cool. I'm going to be more in touch with my feminine side. So all of a sudden, the men said, of course, our masculinity is toxic. So let's get more in touch with the feminine side. Let's be more like these guys or gals. Let's be more like these gals. And so what we have now is a bunch of men who no longer want to be men. What do they want to be? Women. Ooh. Ooh la la, now the men are women, and they call them the trans community. But because the brain of the woman is something that, doesn't really think long term, what the women did, you're not going to believe this. What the women did is say that as long as you are a biological man that says he is a woman and dresses like one, you can come into their dressing rooms. They said that these men, biologically, as long as you look like a woman, you can come into our changing rooms. Sorry. They said that as long as you look like a woman, you can come into our toilets. And now you have a bunch of men with their penises swinging in the changing rooms of women saying that, look, I identify as a woman. And let me tell you, it is one of the most funniest things that I've ever seen. I apologize for laughing out loud, ladies. It's just that the mind that you have is very chaotic to me. You just allowed biological men into your safe spaces with their penises swinging, and it's all because of this. Feminism. Feminism has gone from women want rights, women can do the things that men can do, to men can be women, and not only can they be women, they can dominate your sports arenas. They can come into your dressing rooms. They can come into your changing rooms. How did we get from women wanting this, equal rights, to men with these things being allowed into the same space that women are? I don't know, but you have this thing to blame. Feminism. Feminism is the answer to all your problems. In closing, what I'd like to say is that, ladies, I love you. However, some of the decisions that you've made during this time, when it comes to feminism and when it comes to men, haven't been the best decisions. Can we agree on that? It hasn't been the best decisions that you've actually made looking for equal rights. Because now these men, biological, are looking for the same rights as you, and they are now in your safe spaces. So what you've done is that you've told men that they're always going to win. You said that men should not be in women's spaces. Men should be away from women. Toxic masculinity is bad. And so men, being men, because we are very smart, we said, oh, well, if we dress up as women and if we pretend to be women, we can infiltrate them. Yes. And now you have biological men telling women what it is to be a woman.
The arrogance for cis women to believe that they own periods, that they own womanhood. You don't. You experience both, and both are different for every person. But as a cis woman, it doesn't belong to you, so you can't gatekeep it.
Hello.
Oh, ladies, it's called the old rokey doke, or the old opie doke, or the old bait and switch. Okay? What men have done is that they've baited and switched you. They have become you to dominate you, and you have not seen it. So, shout out to all the men that have done the bait and switch and have actually bamboozled these women and come out on top again. Ladies, it just seems like men always come out on top. Don't say it. Don't say it. That was disgusting. Don't do that. So, class, what have we learned today? We have learned that men do the bait and switch, and if they switch over to be women, they can still dominate. We've actually learned that women don't make the best decisions when it comes to women, okay? They will actually, for some reason, allow men into their most secret and sacred places as long as you dress like a woman. That's what we've learned today, I think. Thank you, everybody, for joining Sa Ra's seminars. We shall be back very soon with another seminar. You guys take care of yourselves.